Jonesboro, and good morning. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 1 to 2.5 forecast. Mostly cloudy skies in the low 60s today and light north winds expected. A weather front coming in tonight and Wednesday with clouds and showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. Overnight temperature around 50, and those temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s Wednesday with clouds and showers and thunderstorms. A few more showers and thunderstorms Wednesday night into Thursday, Halloween Day. Partly to mostly cloudy Thursday near 50. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Natalie Powell. Wildfires in the U.S. state of California are leaving millions facing huge power cuts. The blaze being fanned by strong winds in two parts of the state. In France, an 84-year-old man remains in custody after opening fire on a mosque. 2 worshippers were injured in the incident. And the U.S. House of Representatives has set a date for its first formal vote on the impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Gabila Jones, and my special guests today are Mr. Mark Holden.
Yes,
I get it
got
right.
me, got me.
All right, Miss Facilia Elite, okay. And then Dr. Lisa Jones-Matthews. I'm sorry. Thank you all so much for joining me today. They are here, not just on behalf of St. Bernard's, but on behalf of LEAAP, which stands for Leading and Emerging African American Professionals. It is I don't want to call it organization. It's a
affinity group.
Affinity group.
St. Bernard's very first affinity group.
Okay, and so since I'm all tongue-tied today, Lucilla, can you please give it for those that may be new, which you've been around for almost a year now?
Yes. Actually, we are coming up on December was when we got started in 2018.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, for those who still haven't heard of you, can you please give us some background information?
Yes. So LEAP is a group of African American professionals working at St. Bernard's, and basically it is a space for us to talk about professional growth within the organization of African American professionals that work for St. Bernard's. Community involvement is a huge pillar of our mission. We want to get out there, we want to talk about health disparities.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about diabetes today, and that's one of them. So we are marking that off. We also, in addition to professional development and health disparities, we also want to make sure that we're giving people the ladder, the roadmap to grow within our organization. So recruitment of African American professionals at all levels and helping them grow in their career is what we strive to do.
Alrighty then, and so before we leave today, you all leave today rather, I would love for you to please give some contact information.
Yes.
So that people can reach out if they have any questions or they want to participate or just want to keep up to date on what is coming up. You all have started a Staying Alive series.
Yes.
And so each month or each quarter, you try to highlight various health related issues, and I mean they've been really wonderful. And so I do want to say thank you all for being so present in the community. When we had our Juneteenth event, you were there. Mm-hmm. There was a back to school event, you were there. Yep. There were so many other things that happened, fall festivals here and there, and I'm sure you have more events that you will be attending this year. So thank you for being so present in the community. And from the outside looking in, I feel that it really speaks to our younger population to see professional African Americans doing something wonderful in the community. You're giving back. You're giving of yourself, of your time, and your expertise, and your knowledge. So Thank you so much for that as well.
Oh, no problem. That's what we set out to do.
And so let's go ahead and get into the leaping into diabetic health. Diabetes is one of those diseases that plagues the African American community. I don't want to say the most, but we deal with it differently and probably more extreme than sometimes in some cases.
Yeah, a lot of people know of diabetes. You know, the old people call it the sugar. You know, but they don't know the details and what it pertains to and health-wise. You know, a lot of things that we can do to be better, maintain and control our diabetes. Mm-hmm. So we want to get that knowledge out there to people so they can be able to control that.
Yes, and then there's a hyperglycemic and hypo, and then there's all different types of terminology that comes along with learning which type of diabetes. There's type 1, type 2, and there's juvenile diabetes. So there's so many areas to explore.
So type 1 diabetes, which is considered juvenile, there's no cure for it. That's where a person's pancreas does not produce enough insulin. They're on insulin for life. Without insulin, they can't survive. Because basically insulin is a hormone that your body needs sugar for energy, so the insulin helps push that sugar into your cells to metabolize. So without that insulin, they don't get that sugar, and that's why you become your blood sugar is high, because the sugar is in the bloodstream instead of the cells.
Wow.
So.
Okay, and then with type 2.
So type 2 can happen to anybody, any age. Usually it's people that are obese, or it can happen to anybody. But it's where your body does not metabolize the insulin. It's resistant to insulin. So it's kind of the same but different. Type 1 doesn't make enough insulin. Type 2, you make insulin, but because your body has become resistant, you can keep putting more insulin in, but it just doesn't metabolize. So that's one of the ones a lot of people will have type 2.
And then how is type 2 treated?
Well, you treat it with, the main thing is lifestyle changes. You become where you're not sediment, you get moving, you lose weight. Weight loss is a big key to that. I can testify to that because I was diagnosed type 2 diabetes about 2-3 years ago. I had weight loss surgery, and I'm diabetic, but I don't have to take insulin.
That's awesome.
So.
And I think that I'm glad you stated that there's some people who feel, well, if I do this, this, and this, I won't need to do. But you had to see a doctor first.
I had to see a doctor first.
And Dr. Lisa, who's a pharmacist, can speak to, don't just stop taking your medicine.
No.
Don't just stop. I mean, habits are built over a lifetime. Oh, sorry. Habits are built over a lifetime, and people need to realize that it takes time. It takes time to break a bad habit. It takes time to modify your lifestyle. I'm not going to quit carbs tomorrow. Sometimes you have to.
I'm not going to quit them ever.
Never.
It's a stepping stone. You move one step at a time, and that's how we move through life, one step at a time, and you have to work at it and be conscious about it. But don't just stop and make your body work like it is a Maserati, and you're driving a Honda. I mean, you just really need to know
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, you are not on a racetrack. This is life. It's a journey, but it is not a super powered race. Right. You don't stop and make your body work where it's not ready to.
But a lot of this is, like you said, habits. Growing up, my grandmother, when we went to her house, if we weren't feeling good, we got fed. We got food. We got cakes. If you were bored, you ate. And it's habits and lifestyles that we just over time have developed. So, if I'm sitting home alone watching TV, I've got to go get little Debbie out. She's taking me. We walked a long way, and we together have got to where we're at right now. So I'm trying to leave her alone, but she keeps hitting me on
but
Facebook.
It's hard.
Okay, Debbie, you got to go.
Bye, Debbie.
And I will say, Quabila, with that type 2 diabetes, what we're noticing more and more is that just because you're a juvenile, it doesn't mean your diabetes is a type 1. Type 2 can be at any age. And with our children not being as active, weights are getting higher. We are starting to see more type 2 with our children. So parents get active. Don't tell your kids to go sit down and play while you go out and walk. Take them with you. Make it a family event because, yes, type 2 can happen at any age.
Yes, ma'am. I want to say good morning to Miss Kenyatta Christine, who put a link in our live stream. Thank you so very much for that. And good morning to Rachel Walker for checking in. Everybody, please share this video with someone you know and make plans to go out to support this event because there will be speakers, some from St. Bernard's.
Yes,
and, other presentations. So we want everyone to be as informed as possible. So let's go ahead and get into the event and get into some of the things that will be covered, and then we'll get more into nutrition and other aspects of diabetes.
Yes, so the name of our event, it is part of our Staying Alive series, and it's Leaping into Diabetic Health. It's going to occur Saturday, November the 9th at 5 o'clock p.m. at St. Bernard's Auditorium. That's 505 East Washington. We're going to have a real good time. Of course, we're going to have some great information. We have some great speakers lined up for you. I want you to know that this is just not a conference for people with diabetes. If you have diabetes, we want you to come out and learn some things from us to help you live with that diagnosis. But also, we have a very large percentage of our Arkansan population that are living with prediabetes. Yep. And that's that gray area where you really have time to make a difference. So again, go to your doctor, learn your numbers, but this event that's happening Saturday, November the 9th at 5 o'clock, St. Bernard's Auditorium, it is something for everyone. So if you have diabetes, we want you to come out. If you know somebody with diabetes, we want you to come out. If you don't know what your numbers are, we want you to come out. If you are healthy and in the gym, we want you to come out because everyone needs this information. Yes. So along with the information, we're going to have a great meal. So that's going to be included. Okay. And we're going to have an awesome DJ. So after we get through the knowledge, the skill, the laughs of our presenters, we're going to get up and we're going to tear that dance floor up. We're going to sneak some exercise in there. It is a Sunday's best type of event. Ooh. So you wear your Sunday's best, you wear your semi-formal, and if you choose, you can come black tie. We're going to be okay with that. We're going to have some photography. So it is just a time. November is Diabetes Awareness Month. So it is a time for us to talk about how this disease affects people of all races, all ages, and get people out and to learn.
I want to piggyback off a point you made about even if you're in the gym. I went to a lymphedema support group recently, and we had a nutritionist talk to us about there's a difference between being healthy and being fit. Mm-hmm. And people think they are mutually exclusive, but they're not.
You're exactly right.
Just because you work out doesn't mean you are healthy. There could be some underlying issues, and sometimes working out sets off something that you didn't know was dormant, and that's the time that you need to go to the doctor. Anytime you start any kind of regime, you need to go to the doctor and find out what's going on with your body. So can you all touch on that aspect? Because people kind of think, I'm slim, I work out, I'm fine.
So one of the things we want to talk about are the symptoms of diabetes, so we'll know what you're looking at. Sometimes you'll have an increased thirst. A lot of times with that, you'll have frequent urination. You'll go to the bathroom and then you're going right back. That's your body trying to get rid of that extra sugar, trying to help. Okay. For children, if the children is starts wetting the bed where they didn't wet the bed because their bladders are filling up, a lot of times there will be extreme hunger. Well, they eat and it kind of feeds on itself. They want to eat more and eat more. Unattended weight loss. Now this one we see a lot. Irritability, mood changes when the sugar drops low.
Yes.
They can go, you think it's something else. It might be that, have to think, are they diabetic? Fatigue, weakness, blurred vision. And this one hits diabetics a lot where they have slow healing. Mm-hmm. They get a wound on their foot and they don't really check it, so then it just doesn't heal. And that makes diabetics have a lot of different other problems because of that.
And we've seen just over the course of centuries, people have had to get
amputations.
Decades. People have had to get amputations.
My grandfather, he had to have amputation. He was really bad diabetic. The knowledge that I have now, I didn't know how bad he was. He was pretty bad. He'd eat his bananas and drink his Tab soda. Nasty. And so we one real quick story. One spring break, we made some snow cream, and we left it in the refrigerator, and it was really sweet. So that week, he got into the refrigerator and got a hold of it and went to a diabetic coma. So to save him, they cut one leg off. That didn't do it, so they had to cut both legs off. So it's very vicious disease. It can be very bad, traumatic.
Now I want to go into nutrition. You mentioned bananas, and this is one thing we talked about in my support group. People think bananas are really great, and a lot of different other fruits and vegetables, fruits in particular, they have hidden sugars. Bananas is one of those that's very high in natural sugars that many people are advised to stay away from or eat in low doses. So what are some other foods that we should
what you really want to watch out for are the processed foods, the concentrated sugars. Fruits are pretty good because they're natural sugars. But even those you have to eat in moderation. You just can't go, oh, this apple's good or this banana's good, I can eat all I want, because it's still going to make your sugar high, because most of your food that you consume will be converted to sugar for your body. That's how your body works.
Okay. I want to ask this. If someone, they don't notice any signs, and then they start eating certain things, and eventually they start noticing after they eat certain foods, they start feeling a certain way. So should they start monitoring how they feel based on what they eat, and then really start going to the doctor?
Well, there's a simple way. If you don't have a doctor, you need to have a physician that knows you. There's a blood test that you can do that's a hemoglobin A1C that over time, over a 3-month period, you can tell how your sugars are running if you're being compliant. Checking your blood sugar on the spot can tell you if it's high or low for that period of time, but that hemoglobin A1C is a telltale on you. The ranges, if you're less than 5.7, you're not diabetic. 5.7 to 6.4, you're pre-diabetic. But if it's over 6.5, you need to see a doctor ASAP.
Okay. And you mentioned I don't know if you said dizziness.
Dizziness could be
one.
one.
So again, going back to if someone eats a certain thing or they just start feeling a certain way, should they then start keeping a log of what they eat and how they feel?
Yes, that's always a good idea to keep a log, because different foods can affect us different ways. There might be something on your I don't need list. Maybe it's chocolate.
Don't say that.
It might be, but it's one of the things to have a healthy life. It's about sometimes we have to sacrifice those things that we like to be healthy if we want to live a long time.
All right. Now let's go into so now you've been diagnosed and you're on insulin or you're on a treatment plan, and then you decide, I'm not going to take this dose today, or I'm just not going to do this. I'm just going to stop, or you're just non-compliant. What happened?
So one of the things that happens if you don't take your insulin and you don't monitor your blood sugar, because with diabetes there's finger sticking, there's needles, and people don't like needles, but there's oral medicines you can be put on for pre-diabetes. There's continuous glucose monitors for people to monitor their blood sugars to get better control. But the drawback to that is if you don't maintain your blood sugar and it runs high, one thing we learned in nursing school, that sugar destroys vessels. Imagine the painter that's knocking off paint off the side of the building with sand. Sugar in your bloodstream, because it's not in the cell, is doing the same thing to your vessels. It's tearing those vessels up, those small vessels. That's why you have diabetics they go deaf, they go blind. It affects the small vessels. They have heart attack, increase your risk for stroke, because that sugar that's in your vessels is tearing those walls up. Now, one of the things nutrition told me, that's something a lot of people don't think about, is that imagine back in the day you made a thing of Kool-Aid. And me, I was the heavy. I put a lot of sugar in there. And that's the more sugar in it, the thicker that becomes. So imagine that being your blood, all that sugar being in there, and your heart's trying to pump that sludge through your vessels. And it's also tearing up your walls. It's making your heart work hard. It's tearing up your vessels. It's tearing up your organs, because blood goes everywhere. It goes to your brain, your heart, your kidneys. That's why you see a lot of diabetics that have kidney failure.
Okay.
And so,
I would say if people could see inside of their vessels, they would treat them better.
They would treat them a lot better.
They would. If we could just understand what that's doing to the inside of our body, I think it would be a no-brainer for us to change our lifestyles.
In nursing school, do you all get to see those visuals? Do they maybe have scopes, or are there videos?
Computer generated idea of what it is, because to get into the body and to see it in real motion, I would say maybe a heart cath would be the easiest way to see that. Yeah.
But me, I have an ICU background, so unfortunately, I got to see a lot of those people come through the ICU and see the effects that it was doing to their bodies. It was really devastating when you had newly diagnosed diabetics, young men who came in who looked just like me, whose sugar 1,500.
Yeah.
And there they are in the bed in a coma or confused, and here we are trying to save them, and they didn't know. They had no clue until bam, it just hits them. And that's how it does.
That's how it does. People come in and they're like, I've never had diabetes. I've never had sugar before. And their body has ran, I've said it before, your body has run at 100 miles an hour. You're not knowing it. Your body has run at 100 miles an hour until it stops. It stops on a dime. And you have been healthy, doing for yourself, doing for your family and friends out here. And your body just says, no more.
And so diabetes is hereditary. If you have a family history of diabetes, the chances are that you can become diabetic. And when we talk about weight loss, one of the things we learn is that fat tissue is resistant to insulin. So that's one of the reasons you lose weight, your body can metabolize that insulin better. Yes. So that's one of the main things we push, activity.
All right, well, we're going to get ready for a break here soon. I don't want to get too deep into another conversation.
All right.
I did want to say some of that for the
we can talk for days.
Oh, well, we got to take a break first because we're going to get cut off anyway.
Okay, no problem.
We just want to remind everyone the Leaping into Diabetic Health is November 9th, 2019 at 5 p.m. and this is Sunday's Best. Tickets are $25 for individual, $40 for a couple, and $150 for a table of 8. So please go out and support this group. They are doing wonderful things in the community. But don't go anywhere. We're going to continue this conversation discussing diabetic health right after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
So, you caught your spouse cheating. Now what? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. No one can imagine the devastation caused by a cheating spouse except the one who has experienced it. Anger, sadness, embarrassment, betrayal, and rejection may be just some of the emotions that flood one's mind and heart. And while there is no one answer for dealing with a cheating spouse, here are some steps you can take. First, don't make any quick decisions on what you're going to do, even though you may want to end it right then and there. Second, consider your children. Be careful not to talk poorly about your spouse or put your kids in a position of choosing sides. Third, work through your feelings and seek wise counsel from a trusted friend or counselor instead of bottling it all up. Finally, if at all possible, pursue reconciliation. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a non-profit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm R-Dub, host of Sunday Night Slow Jams, with a special invitation to join me this Sunday night. We're going to to slow it down and make the most of the last few moments of your weekend. With slow jams and special expressions to the ones you love. So come on through and bring a friend. I'll see you for Sunday Night Slow Jams. Sundays from 8 to midnight on 102.5 KLEK.
Check out Melvin Williams of the Williams Brothers every Sunday morning from 5 to 7 a.m. here on KLEK for the Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, playing the very best in quartet and inspirational gospel music that you'll love, as well as feature interviews with all of your favorite gospel artists. It's Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, Sundays from 5 to 7 a.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
After the show, it's the after party then. After the show, it's the after party then.
Worldwide. DJ Suede, the after party.
That's right, every Saturday night, right here on the #1 radio station in Jonesboro, Arkansas, KLEK 102.5 FM. It's the after party with DJ Suede.
Mix me up, DJ Suede.
Blazing hot. The after party.
So Saturday nights, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., be prepared to hear the hottest hip-hop, R&B, throwbacks, classic jams, and slow jams. Live in the mix.
Yo, the after party. DJ Suede.
Check it out.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, with my special guest today from St. Bernard's and LEAAP, which is Leading an Emerging African American Professional. So I'm alone to add something else. But thank you all so much for joining us today. We are discussing diabetic health. As part of their Staying Alive series, they are hosting a Leaping into Diabetic Health event, which is, Sunday's Best Attire, November 9th, 2019 at 5 p.m. at the St. Bernard's Auditorium. You can get your tickets online and go in some other ways. So we're going to jump back into our discussion, but also go ahead and give you the information about the ticket.
Yes, so in order to purchase tickets, the last day to purchase tickets will be November the 8th. Okay. The day before the event, 5 o'clock p.m., our online ticket sales will cease. So there will not be buying tickets at the door.
Okay.
And you can actually go to... Number one, you can always call our health line, which is 870-207-7300. You just tell them you want to purchase tickets for the Diabetic Awareness Gala, and they will put you in touch with some women who will get you set up for that. But if the phone is not your thing, and you want to just go directly out to the web and purchase your tickets, you will have the opportunity to do that. You can just go to www.payit2, that's PAYIT, and then the number 2.com/event/106467.
Okay.
So we will make sure that is under this community conversation so that you can actually just touch that link and you can go purchase tickets that way as well.
All right, and can you give us the phone number again, because I'm a slow typer?
Yes, I sure will. It's 870-207-7300. And that's our St. Bernard's Health line. That is actually our one-stop shop number. Okay. So if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to a diabetes educator, you can use that number. If you're looking for a physician, you can use that number. Okay. And you can definitely use that number to figure out how to buy tickets for our event, Leaping into Diabetic Health.
All righty. Awesome. All right, so let's jump back into our conversation. Before we went to break, Mr. Mark was talking about, I think, exercise or dieting or something along the lines.
Exercise and weight loss.
Okay.
I was going back to how fat tissue is resistant to insulin metabolizing.
Okay.
So,
and I will say, a lot of times we talk about being overweight, and I understand based on your height, you go to the doctor, they're going to take your height, they're going to take your weight, and they're going to tell you where you should be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, my should be is a long time in the future. So I don't want people to get discouraged by those scales, because the thing about being overweight, if you want to make a difference in your health, small chunks, like Lisa was talking about, 5 to 10% decrease
Okay.
That will help you get rid of some of that fat tissue,
Yes.
make your body more susceptible to insulin working like it's supposed to be, getting that sugar out of our blood, and so many other things. So, yes, that scale is a goal, but just a 5 to 10% reduction will help your health. So, start today, start somewhere.
I'm going to say this just from a personal perspective. Sodas were never really my nemesis, even though I like them. But sweet tea is my kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned how to adjust by, drinking more infused water. So for those of you who are looking for alternatives to your drink, you're just not a plain water drinker, try some infused water.
Yes.
I guarantee you, if I can do it, you can do it, because I just have the sweet, as we say, our sweet tooth. No, I just have to have something sweet. But infused water is, really great. And there's a lot of different alternatives. So just pick and choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, speaking of reading labels and misunderstanding. Just because something says sugar-free or, whatever, the other low calorie and all this, please help us kind of navigate that whole minefield.
So one of the things that I've learned dealing with my son's diabetes is that it's the carbs.
Okay.
You count your carbs because, like I said before, your body converts the things we eat over into sugar. Well, carbs will convert faster. So what you don't burn turns to fat.
Okay.
So it's a double-edged sword. Your sugar in your blood is high. If you don't burn it off by moving and exercising, well, then your body's going to make it to turn to fat, which means now you're resistant to insulin. So guess what? The sugar in your blood and your sugar in your blood is going to stay high.
Okay.
So it's a bad cycle that it starts.
Right. So let's shift into the cost of all this. So, we talked about making these changes in insulin and this, that, whatever. Well, somehow you have to pay for it, and then there's more than just the financial cost as well. So, but let's talk about the financial aspect first.
So, 30 million Americans have diabetes.
Yes.
And it costs America about 327 billion a year
Yes.
in diabetic costs.
Yes.
That's your supplies, your needles, your strips,
Yes.
your insulin. That's not cheap. They're not giving it away. And so these people, we see that with a lot of the things that go on in the world. The cost is very high, and they have to have insulin. They can't say, "Oh, I'm going to take a little bit today and none tomorrow." They have to have it.
And those people with diabetes, this is the thing. Just the diagnosis of diabetes, your healthcare costs are going to be 2.3 times higher than someone's healthcare costs that doesn't have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it may be expensive to buy fresh fruits. It may be expensive to try to eat a little bit healthier, but you're still going to save money, because once you get that diagnosis, like Mark says, you're going to spend money on things that you absolutely need to live.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this to people out there. If you have Medicaid or Medicare, there are ways for you to have access to a nutritionist that's not out of pocket. So please utilize those resources. And then there's also community organizations, like right here in town through the UAMS Extension Office, there's a group that teaches nutrition information. So host an event where you can get the information for free. So there are ways that we can get the information. We need to just find a way.
And as communities, we need to do it together.
Yes, as communities.
As communities.
Because it's easier to prevent these things from becoming rampant than it is to treat them.
Okay.
Very much so.
In your research, have you found any numbers that state whether the diabetic numbers are higher in rural areas versus inner city, metro areas? Is there a difference?
Now, I have not particularly looked at environments.
Okay.
I will say that along with genetics, along with weight, environment is a risk factor for certain diseases. So I don't have the exact numbers, but of course there are going to be risk factors for that.
So, we live in what we call the stroke belt. And the reason they call it that, because in the South, when we talked before, we fry our foods. We don't eat healthy. We do fast food. Everything's eat and sit. So we don't do like in the old days where family cooked a meal, was cooked, prepared properly, and we talked, and we communicated, and we moved around. Everything is, I'm going to sit in front of the TV. I'm I'm gonna sit in front of my video games. So as a whole, our lifestyles have gotten a lot worse. But particularly in the South, it's really a problem.
Righty. So a few lifestyle changes can lead to a better quality of life.
Yes. Well, I wanted to throw in there one thing that we do as a people. You show your love by feeding people. You show your love by feeding people. We socialize over food.
Yes.
And so our habit is always our habits are always to eat when we see each other, instead of saying, "Hey, let's go for a walk in the park." Hey, let's go get facials. Let's go get facials today instead of eating when we get together.
Right.
Because I might have had some chips at the house, and then you say, "Hey, let's go to the restaurant." I'm gonna order a full meal.
I'm gonna order a full meal. Yes.
Full meal.
Don't be no buffet.
No.
I've got to go twice to get my money worth.
You gotta get your money's worth.
Yeah. And if I got enough room, I'm gonna go 3 times.
Yeah. Do 2 laps around the bar. You might work it down a little bit. I just think that we as a people need to think about, not so much like associating food with happiness and always associating food with being together and just doing other things.
It's almost like a drug, because with happiness, with sadness, it's a comfort food. We're depressed, we eat. Feeling sad, Ben and Jerry's, that ice cream, gotta have it.
Yeah.
Got to.
And you don't want to miss anything. People will say, "Hey, we're getting together for appetizers," and you want to go. So you show up at the beginning, you stay till the very end, and you want to eat 2 or 3 times during this time. And so I think we as a people need to think about, hey, let's just get together, bringing some food, but healthy foods, but not to get full, not to.
And we're coming up to that dangerous part. We're coming Thanksgiving, Christmas. If that table isn't full, that plate isn't full, you're not eating enough.
Right.
Oh yes.
No.
And it shows. The clean plate club is a thing. It is a thing.
Like, it was a competition in my house. Like, if you talk about generations, like my mom and dad, they grew up where they grew what they ate. And food was something for people who had money. That was what people who were well-to-do. And so being able to feed their children, i.e. me, my sisters, and brothers, that was a thing of pride. So literally at our dinner table, it was like, who's going to finish first? Who ate all their food? It was like you got trophies, you got medals, you got the pat on the back. You finished your plate. And that is something that I think has really programmed how we view food.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Most definitely. I want to say good morning to Miss Letitia Fox Rochelle. Hello, everyone. This is a great program. You all are doing a great job. Thank you so much, and good morning to Minister Brian Carter for checking in.
Good morning. Hey, yes. Go get your tickets.
Yeah, come on out.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Everyone, please come out to this event. So we haven't gotten into who some of the speakers are or other presentations.
Yes. So we will have different speakers from different walks of life. We have a very, very great speaker. She's an APN. She also it's very close to her. Diabetes is something that's very, very close to her, and I think you're going to hear that when she speaks. I always say what's from the heart is received by the heart, and I think you're going to get that from her. Also, Dr. Willie Harper. He is one of our physicians at St. Bernard's. Yes, awesome guy. You're going to enjoy him. And he's going to talk about healthy living, healthy habits. And that's what I'm talking about. That's for everybody and anybody to come out.
He's really good.
Yes. We're also going to give some diet tips. We're going to talk about how to make food taste good without using all the butter, all the salt, all the fat. It's possible. It's possible. So we're going to have some demonstrations, some good information. And like I said, we're also going to have a lot of fun as well.
I think once we wrap our brains around that it's possible to make changes and still enjoy food, and if we change our relationship with food, you are talking about how food is comfort and we socialize over food. But if we change our relationship and our thought process with food, we can become a lot more healthier and increase the quality of our life. And if food is not the central focus of our event or our
a lot of people live to eat instead of eat to live. So it makes a big difference.
All right,
it's
now,
a mental.
With all of these diet fads, that's what I call them fads.
You're exactly right.
How does that affect someone that has been diagnosed with diabetes and they're already on some type of regimen?
Well, the fact that they try to lose weight is great, but the thing about the catch-22 on diets is that everybody wants that change to happen rapid.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see changes really soon. So when they don't see those changes, they get discouraged, and then they fall off the wagon. So when you make a mental decision that you're going to make a change, it needs to be mental. It needs to be small, incremental changes that can become a lifestyle.
Yes. That's the most. That's the best diet you can have. It's something that you can sustain.
It can be something simple as stopping sodas, changing sodas, or staying away from bread, or something real simple.
At this event, whoever's doing the speaking on that aspect, talk about, okay, so instead of having white bread, here's an alternative. And instead of having this thing, here's an alternative. So that people can get a real life view of, I don't have to just go through everything the way I have it at home.
Right.
To go about all this.
Finish a loaf first.
Yeah.
And then buy a different one when you go back.
I like to tell people it's not reinventing the wheel. Okay. Somebody has the answers.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to search for those answers a little bit, but sometimes if you just ask the right person, they'll give you the answers about diet. Mm-hmm. Like eating mayonnaise. I don't eat a lot. I like a little bit with my tuna when I eat tuna, but I went to a dietitian, and she gave me the numbers on regular mayonnaise and the light style, the light kind. Okay. I'm not a big mayonnaise fan, so I was able to change that and cut out over half the calories.
Okay.
With no real change to my life at all. It didn't affect anything. Mm-hmm. It didn't change anything really. That mayonnaise is still sitting in my fridge. It's probably expired today. But I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy the same exact one that she told me, and I tasted it. It tastes the same to me. I'm going to buy the same exact one because I know that I've saved calories. Okay. That's one teeny thing that I did that I was like, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. Just one little thing. Somebody said, buy this kind of bread instead of this kind of bread. I could do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to go and look at every loaf of bread at the back of at the nutrition label. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
There's somebody that knows that answer. All you have to do is look for it sometimes. Ask the right person and you'll get the answers you need.
I want to ask this question. There's another, I don't even want to call it a beverage that some people consume, and I'm not trying to check anybody for their choices. Hidden sugars alcohol has hidden sugars.
Oh, Lord, how much?
I thought you was going to get on my coffee.
No.
I know we all.
No.
Okay, alcohol. I can talk about alcohol.
No, because then I had to put me right under the bus.
I know. Okay, Leah, let's talk about alcohol.
Alcohol. There's some people feel like, it's just, alcohol. It's how harmful. Anyway, there are hidden sugars in alcohol. So talk about that aspect.
So, anything you do, and this is the big one for everything, food, alcohol, anything done in moderation, and that's the key, moderation. But when you excessively do it, because, your body converts it over, and, a lot of alcohol has the different things in it that will convert over rapidly to sugar.
And the mixers, full of sugar. Mm-hmm. The things that make it taste really good, full of sugar.
Oh, yeah. Make it go down easy.
Full of sugar.
Full of sugar.
I will say, when I am truly counting like I'm supposed to count, and I go out with my friends, and when we do, we like to hit a good happy hour or things along that nature. All things in moderation. But I will say, like, I would get the pure vodka, and I would get it on ice, and the Mio, how you can flavor your water.
That's a slick trick.
Yeah, it is. You get you a little flavor Mio, put it in with your ice and your vodka, and you feel like part of the crew. Okay. And you're doing it, and you're doing it in a more healthy way. So this is the thing. Sometimes you got to trick everybody. So there are just ways to do that without saying, just pour in all the sugar that you can.
Yeah. So, but all in all, do your research. Learn which alcohols have what levels of sugar, because it goes through a fermentation process. Yes. And I'm learning this because I make my own kombucha, which it has sugar in it to feed the yeast. However, what I love about making it at home, I can control the amount of sugar
True.
that goes into it versus a commercial brand. Not to snub them, because there's some great ones, but anyway. So again, just be mindful of where your sugars are coming in, where these extra calories and carbs and things are coming into your diet. I would rather eat my calories than to drink them.
Yes.
Also be mindful
It's called
of
empty
that.
calories.
Yes.
You'll be hungry, and there you back eating again.
Yeah.
Right. So be very mindful of that. Again, we just want to remind everyone, November 9th, 5 p.m., St. Bernard's Auditorium. Get your tickets by November 8th and get out your Sunday's best and come out and have a great time with the community members.
Yes.
So what are you all hoping? We have a minute and a half before our break, so I just want to, kind of shift a little bit, but what are you hoping to get out of this event?
We just want to get a lot of people out, because the more people that are informed, the better our community is going to be, the stronger it's going to be. Because we want to be around for a long time,
Yeah.
So that's one of our goals, is to just get the people educated.
Yes, advocacy, awareness. I will say that I have the pleasure of working with some very, very, very intelligent people. And I'm very proud of that. 2 of them are sitting at this table. But they are also so much fun. And so I always tell people, this is not going to be a trip to your doctor's office. We are not going to preach to you. We are not going to use words that you don't understand. We know how to make it understandable. We want you to come out. We don't want you to live in that ignorance is bliss type of mentality. We want you to know, and we're going to make sure you understand, and we're going to have a lot of fun while you're doing it.
Because we're not better than the others, because we're living with these same things.
You're exactly right.
We're in the same boat.
Yes.
We just want to steer it in the right way.
All right.
When you know better, you do better.
There you go.
And you can come to this event so that you can learn something, so that you know better. You know how better to take care of yourself, to help somebody who has diabetes, to promote healthy living. You can do better.
Right.
We can all do better.
So we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we will wrap up our discussion with any final thoughts and shout outs. And thank you everyone out there for listening and watching. Good morning to Mr. Paul Holmes. Share this information and make plans to go out to the diabetes event. So we'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. What you don't know about using a prepaid debit card can hurt you. An astounding 7 in 10 prepaid debit cards are not fully disclosing their fees to consumers, according to new research from creditcards.com. Payday lenders, Ace Cash Express, and Speedy Cash were the biggest offenders in terms of not disclosing fees. Knowing the details for a card's fee structure can make a big difference in terms of monthly expenses. For example, a user with Green Dot Visa Gold making 20 purchases a month, 4 ATM withdrawals, and 4 cash reloads could pay as much as $37.75 in fees. But by knowing how fees are structured, the same user could cut the monthly cost to $5.95. The amount of the monthly service fee, and even that fee can be eliminated with direct deposit of a paycheck. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Anointed Prolube, 1216 East Johnson Avenue, serves the Jonesboro community inspired by Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. They offer brake service, oil changes, tire plugs, basic tune-ups, wiper blade changes, bulb changes, and coolant system flushes. Open Monday, Thursday, and Friday 8 to 5, Tuesday and Wednesday 8 to 4, and Saturday 8 to 2. More information 870-520-5039.
Stark's Auto Plaza at 2829 Red Wolf Boulevard is a proud KLEK supporter, offering luxury pre-owned vehicles sold wholesale to the public. At Stark's, we never say no. 870-203-9980. Details at starksautoplaza.com.
KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy, local jobs, entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month. Shout out to Always and Forever Pet Grooming, offering baths, nails, and haircuts for dogs and cats. 2929 South Caraway Road, Jonesboro. 870-520-0925. Shout out to Letitia Fox Rochelle and Foxy's Fabulous Accessories, an independent paparazzi jewelry consultant. FoxySKB.com, Foxy's Fabulous Accessories on Facebook, or 870-761-4323.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I wish I could be here for our in-between air conversation, but sorry. All right, so we're going to get right back into this last segment. Is fairly shorter, so I wanted to make sure that the individuals here have enough time to wrap up our discussion and give any final talking points, and also recap the date, time, location of the event, and some other highlights of the event. So whoever wants to take it away.
Well, I'll just throw in about prevention of diabetes. We say eat healthy. We say get active, start exercising with people if you can, because an accountability partner is truly needed when you are breaking things. And lose a little bit of weight. Lose a little bit to lose a little bit more to maybe lose a little bit more. You know, it's baby steps. It's just baby steps. But try, go out there and try to be a healthy you.
Okay.
And I just want to say that we've only touched the tip of the iceberg with our conversations today about diabetes. There is so much more. I mean, we are literally on the brink of an epidemic. Basically, we're there. 30 million people. 30 million people living with diabetes. So I really do ask you to get your tickets. Come out. What we do as St. Bernard's LEAAP, we do it for the community. It takes a village, and we want to provide these types of informationals. We don't want it to stop. We've had a great year, and we truly want to go out with a bang. So this will be our biggest event for the rest of 2019. Now, you'll still see us out there, but this is the showstopper. This is the Staying Alive, Leaping into Diabetic Health, Saturday, November the 9th. 5 o'clock at St. Bernard's Auditorium. So I really do want to see everyone's smiling faces. Come out, invite someone, and have a lot of fun and get some great information.
Yes. So I just want to say to people, don't ignore the signs. If you think you could possibly be diabetic or showing some of the signs, go see a doctor, or if you see somebody, just get in, find out, because it's better to be able to treat something that you know than to let the unknowns get you.
Let's talk about, we didn't touch much on like family health and how we don't have enough conversations about what's really going on in our families. Older generations are dying off, or they get sick and then we don't know what's wrong until they're on their deathbed or something like that. So talk about the importance of having conversations and knowing your family history, the paternal and the maternal side.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's one of the things. People are very private with some of the things that go on with them. A lot of times you don't find out until they've passed what the family history or what's been on that branch of the tree with them. So one thing is to, you know, if you have older people in your family, you know, stop, talk with them, see what's going on in the family, going on with them, and then research it, learn. We have the internet. You can go, you know, go online and see different things. Learn about what's going on, because 9 times out of 10, that's something that's going to be looking you down your path of life. If it's a family thing, hypertension, diabetes, you know, this is things we can deal with.
Okay.
And see your doctor.
See your doctor.
See your doctor. Have those conversations. Do not get discouraged by the medical community.
No.
I tell people so many times, ask the hard questions.
Okay.
Don't stop at no.
Don't be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. All physicians, they are people. They may not be the one for you. Find you another one. You know, so this is the thing. You do have to have that relationship with a physician. You have to ask those questions. And we want to be there to help you, to say, hey, I know a little bit about type 1 and type 2. These are my symptoms. I may need to be tested for. So sometimes you got to go in with the information as well.
Yes. Because I went to my doctor and I said, I've been going to the bathroom quite a bit. I'm not feeling like myself. Can we test me for diabetes? Got the test. She said, nope, you're good. I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't anything different. But I do have a doctor that I go to, love her to death. And it's just that you have to ask the question.
You do.
You know, you have to know. And ignorance can't be bliss.
No.
You know, if you know something, you can do something. If you have that information, you can take care of yourself.
Right.
And
Yes.
so that you can take care of other people.
You're going to find out one way or another.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And let's touch on children. We have to take better care of our children.
Yes.
I tell my son every day that I want you to be better than me. I want you to have a better quality of life than me. And so I try to approach him in a loving and nurturing way versus fussing at him, because we know in some older generations the communication approach is not very great.
No.
So I try to be a little more loving and nurturing. And I'm sorry, Mr. Mark, one thing, you talked about your son having diabetes and you have a monitor. So talk about some of the other tools that people can access.
So, you know, technology has come a long way. They do have what we call continuous glucose monitors that we can people can be fitted with. There's some that you can do spot checks. That if you don't like being stuck, you can have those things on. It's a light stick, and you can monitor your blood sugar better.
Okay.
That with a doctor, treat your sugars.
Okay. All right. And getting kids active. We got like 2 minutes left. So
Yes.
So whatever you all want to highlight or touch on.
You know, walking won't kill you. Walking's good.
And you find out a lot when you're just out there. There's no TV, there's no phone. It's just you and your children talking. And that's a lot of times when you find out a lot what's going on with your children. And I know we're talking about diabetes, but mental health is another epidemic. Social media, the things that our kids are going through are far worse than what we're going through, and we need those opportunities to talk. So talk and walk.
All right. So our mental health can correlate with our physical health.
Yes.
We need to start looking at the total person, the total man, total woman. And when we tackle all those aspects, then we can create change.
Exactly.
Change.
Staying Alive series.
Staying alive.
Every time I see that here, I want to do that. What's that old disco?
Yeah.
But we don't have royalties for that, so I'm not going to sing it.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yep.
Not going to sing that. We don't have the...
What? I can hit that high note. I can't hit no more.
We love to have fun here at Community Conversations. I love having you on here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for this valuable information. Again, go out to the event November 9th, 5 p.m. Put on your Sunday's best. Get your tickets now. There's a link in our Facebook Live feed. There's actually a Facebook event page.
Yes.
LEAAP. Look it up. Get your tickets. Take a lot of people out.
Yes.
There you go.
Support this event and get to know who's in your community. Get to know your neighbors. So, and then after all the talking and all that, you get to dance off the food you ate.
That's right.
All right. So thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you everyone out there. Join Community Conversations tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. along with All Gospel Wednesday. Have a great and blessed day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.